So here we are, the third section of this course, and here's where the rubber really meets the road. In this section, we'll cover some time-tested and proven, real-world methods for growing your business. More importantly, we're going to lay the groundwork for a system for growing your business significantly over the next 30 days. I'll introduce you to the Ask Sales model, as well as the 4 ways to grow a business exponentially. Plus, I'll give you a very simple example of how any business, including yours, can realistically grow by a minimum of 14% simply and easily with just 3 small improvements. Now, these improvements can be made by virtually any business in any industry simply and easily. Let's get started. Okay, now if you've read any number of business books, you're probably already familiar with what's commonly referred to as the 3 ways to grow a business. Listed, here they are. Increase the number of clients, or customers, for those of you that skip the mindset section of this course. If that's the case, I urge you right now to go back and go through it. I'm telling you, it's going to be more than worth your while. Okay, to get back on track, here are the 3 ways to grow a business. Number 1, you can increase the number of clients. Number 2, increase the average transaction value. And number 3, increase the number of transactions per year. Now, those 3 ways are certainly 3 ways to grow a business, any business. With everything else staying the same, a business will grow if it increases its number of clients. All other things staying constant, a business will also grow if they increase their average transaction value too. Likewise, for a business that increases its transaction frequency. So those 3 ways do indeed grow a business. But those 3 ways alone leave a very important step out. Just think of it this way. Who do you sell to? Well, first, there's the entire population. But they aren't all buyers of your goods and services, no matter how much we'd like them to be. Let's call that group everyone. Easy enough, right? Then you have people who buy the same or similar goods or services that you provide, whether from you or your competitors. Let's call this group total buyers. They are part of the group of everyone, but are a smaller group. Now, part of the group of total buyers is the people who take notice of your company specifically. Let's call them prospects. And just as the group of total buyers is part of the group of everyone, but consists of a smaller group of people, the group of prospects, or leads as we'll call them from here on in, is part of the group of total buyers, but consists of a smaller number of people. Finally, a section of the group of prospects or leads consists of a smaller group of people that actually buy your goods or services. They're called your clients. So you follow this logical progression. You have everyone, then total buyers, then prospects, then clients. Now, one of your clients starts out in their buying cycle with you as a member of the group everyone. Then they become part of the group of total buyers. When they take notice of you and your company, they become your prospects. And when they buy, they become your clients. If we follow the progression further, we'd see that a smaller group of clients become your better clients, or B clients. And yet an even smaller group become your A clients. We'll talk about getting more A clients through both acquisition and ascension later on in this course. But right now, let's stick with the larger group of clients. Okay, so the 3 ways we talked about starts pretty late in this progression. Remember, it starts with getting more clients. Now that's the reason why I make the distinction of having 4 ways to grow a business. That said, here they are from last to first. Number 4, increasing the number of transactions or orders a client makes. Number 3, increasing clients' average order value. And now, unlike with the 3 ways to grow a business, where we'd have increased the number of clients, we'd split that into 2 distinct ways. Increasing the number of prospects and increasing the conversion of prospect to client. Increasing either one or both increases the number of clients. That said, let's list the 4 ways to grow a business one more time. Number 1, increase the number of prospects. Number 2, increase the conversion rate from prospect to client. Number 3, increase the value of the client by increasing the average price the client spends. And number 4, by increasing the value of the client by increasing frequency of purchase. Notice the way the 3rd and 4th ways are represented here. Both are increasing client value. The 1st and 2nd ways increase the amount of clients, and the 3rd and 4th increase their value to your business. Okay, now that we've laid the framework for growing your business, let's go over an example to understand the exponential power behind increasing these numbers. Let's take a hypothetical company that's doing $1 million in revenue. And let's say this company reached that $1 million level by selling their goods to 1,000 customers at a price of $200 per transaction and 5 transactions a year on average. You might want to write this down. So we have a company that sells their goods to 1,000 customers, an average of 5 times a year, at an average price of $200 per order. bringing this company $1 million in revenue. Now let's say this company was able to grow these three areas by 10% each. The results would be much greater than 30% by simply combining that 10% 3 times, and I'll demonstrate that now. A 10% increase in customers brings the customer count to 1,100. 10% increase in average price per transaction brings us to $220. And a 10% increase in frequency of purchase brings us to 5.5 transactions per year on average. Altogether, this company would increase their revenue by over 33% by increasing these core numbers by 10% apiece. Now you might be scratching your head wondering why that number is only 33% and why we're only discussed 3 of the 4 ways to grow the business. The reason is simple. I wanted to start out slowly and simply. We'll be getting more in depth with the numbers later, and it'll be all clear as day to you then. Right now, let's not get too complicated too early. I want to demonstrate this core concept as easily as possible without muddling the numbers, or more importantly, the concept. For that reason, we've started simply. Let's take a step back and talk about increasing the amount of customers this business has. Remember, there are 2 ways to grow this number. 1 is by increasing the amount of prospects, and 2 would be by increasing the conversion rate of these prospects to customers. Now let's go back and talk about these numbers. In the first example, the company was doing $1 million a year in revenue. They did that by selling to 1,000 customers, an average of 5 times a year, at an average transaction value of $200 per transaction. What I failed to mention was that this hypothetical company converted prospects to customers at a rate of 20%, meaning they had 5,000 prospects in their pipeline. 5,000 prospects converting at 20% rate brings us to the 1,000 customers we talked about this company having. Now let's say we were able to grow the amount of prospects by 10% and the conversion rate by 10%. We'd then have 5,500 prospects converting at a rate of 22%, bringing the number of customers up to 1,210. If we plug that into the other core numbers increasing by 10%, we have a total growth of 46.4%. Just to quickly go over the numbers, we went from having 5,000 to 5,500 prospects, a conversion rate of 20% increasing to 22%, an average order frequency that went from 5 to 5.5 times a year, and an average transaction value going from $200 to $220. All of this led to an increase in revenue of $464,100. That's a 46% increase if you're able to increase the core numbers by 10% each. Now, if you were able to increase these core numbers by 20%, this would more than double revenue, a 107% increase. Now, I know what you're thinking. Talking about increasing these 4 core numbers is a lot different than actually doing it. And you're 100% right if that's what you're thinking. However, I'm going to show you how even small, easy to make improvements that any company can realistically make can have an astounding effect on that company's bottom line. Let's see how that works.